Welcome to Elevate Springfield, where we will dive into strategies and stories that help you rise to your full potential. Each episode, we'll talk about how you can take intentional steps to elevate your life and your business while making a meaningful impact on those around you. Along the way, we're going to bring in the change makers from our community that are already elevating. We'll bring the actionable strategies, you bring the discipline and follow through, and together we can elevate Springfield.
All right, let's go, Springfield. Time to 10x your day, y'all. Time to level up. Time to crush it. Hey, you are listening to the Elevate Springfield podcast. Robert Farrell here, certified 10x coach, speaker, and mentor, here to bring you actionable strategies. You bring the discipline and follow through, and together we're going to elevate Springfield. Well, you are listening to another segment of Communities Grow Together on the Elevate Springfield podcast. As you know, we drop these segments each week. The Communities Grow Together segment will touch on all things nonprofit associations and how we as a community are working together so we can all grow together. This segment is brought to you by David Hilst, American Family Insurance Agency over on West Wabash. Whatever you need insurance-wise, whether that's business, life, home, auto, or anything in between, hey, David and his team can take care of you. Give them a shout, or hey, stop by and visit them over on West Wabash. These segments are quick hits of actionable strategies and what's going on in our area to help you level up and grow together. Be right back after the break. Looking for personalized insurance with hometown care? David Hilst, American Family Insurance Agent, is here to help you protect what matters most: your family, your home, and your dreams. Whether it's auto, home, life, business, David and his team are proud to serve the Springfield community with trusted advice and reliable coverage. Local service, real relationships, peace of mind. Call today or stop by their office. They can build your dream protection plan together. Call 217-726-6343. All right, and we are back for another edition of Communities Grow Together, brought to you by David Hilst, American Family Insurance Agency. Hey, anything you need insurance-wise, David and his team will take care of you. Give them a shout or stop by their office over on West Wabash. Joining me in the studio today is Megan Murray from Wouldn't It Be Lovely? Megan, how you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, appreciate you coming down. Looking forward to learning more about Wouldn't It Be Lovely? It's come up on the show multiple times. We were talking before. Nicholas Koch has been on before, and he's highly involved there.
Yeah.
And his wife is, so he's talked about it highly, but we've never actually had anybody from the organization in to talk about it. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
So Megan, why don't we start by just telling us what Wouldn't It Be Lovely does?
Okay. So it started out as a ministry at a Douglas Avenue United Methodist Church in 2016. And it has grown tremendously over the last 10 years. We are like at our 10-year mark. We are now our own nonprofit.
Sure.
So we basically provide transitional employment for women that are in recovery from addiction. And what that looks like is most girls that get out of rehab, jail, prison, they're on probation, drug court, whatever, and they have like a month clean and they're just like thrown into the world to like figure it out. It's extremely hard. There's so many barriers. There's so many hoops to jump through, and having a job in the secular world is really hard, and the world doesn't really cater to drug addicts. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And most people are trying to do everything they can to live right again, but the barriers are, oh, you have a DCFS case, you got to stop work and go meet with your caseworker. You are on drug court, you have to have court every Friday at 1:00 and you got to leave work, or you have to stop and go drug test for something. It's just, there's all of that. And working at Target or Starbucks or something, you can't really do that. They don't offer that same grace. So like we are there.
Quite as accommodating for that. Right?
No, not at all. So, and I'm not saying no job would be accommodating, but most jobs aren't.
Right.
And not to mention, it's really hard when you have been on the streets in addiction and you haven't worked for years, you have no job references, you haven't worked in years, you don't have any work ethic or very little work ethic. So that in itself is really hard to just jump into, a job.
Mhm.
So it's kind of a way to provide transitional employment and build your work ethic back up, get you back to working again, getting you used to being somewhere on time and being productive every day. We also have housing. So we have a house we opened a few years ago. It's been really successful. It's got 4 spots, so 2 rooms, 2 girls to a room, and that's also part of the program.
Mm.
Now, any given time, we have usually around 15 girls and only 4 spots in that house.
Sure.
So there's other living situations that the other women have. So a lot of them will either live with family or live with at sober living house, like there's Oxford houses, other living arrangements in Springfield that they live in, or some of them have their own apartments.
Sure.
And have worked to that. But we hoping to open another house next year even.
Oh,
or
cool.
sometime in the future, because there is just a need for it. We can fill
Mhm.
another house easily. And so we do the employment, the housing, and we do just life skills things. Like we have money management classes, we have volunteer groups that come and networking with the community. We have, health classes sometimes. And the way I look at it, I'm in recovery from addiction, and I consider it like an aftercare program, because a lot of times you just go to rehab for 28 days and they're like, okay, figure it
There you go.
out.
Right.
Yeah. And it's really hard. If not, even people that really want it and they really try really hard, the odds are always stacked against you. And so there's just no long-term follow-up with a lot of that. I mean, there is outpatient. I'm not saying there's not things, but there isn't things when it comes to employment programs,
Seems
like
it gives
around
you
here at least.
Yeah, it seems like it gives you almost a full support network. 'Cause you've got
Absolutely.
the job, you've got
Yep.
the community around it, you've got all
Absolutely.
these people that are
Mhm.
helping you
Yeah.
through that.
Yeah, and you have to think, when you're a drug addict, you have drug addict friends,
Mhm.
and so you don't know anybody else but that. And often relapse is high when you have no friends and you just go back to that same group and around
Right.
the same people. And there's just something about that you have to change all your people, places, and things to even be able to stay clean.
Right.
So I say that to say we have 15 girls and we are all just friends with each other, and it's like a sisterhood of sorts.
Yeah.
It's so we support each other. Sometimes when there's lots of girls involved, people get catty and stuff, but it's not like that there. We all get along. We're all friends. We hang out outside of work. We all pretty well support each other. And
That's
that, I
awesome.
think, in itself is huge.
No doubt about
It's
it.
huge. Yeah. So
10 years ago,
Okay.
first off, who was it that started it, and what
Yeah.
was that driving force?
So that was Margaret Ann Jessup. She's the director and she's my boss, and she is the founder. This was her thing. She started it all. She is a pastor. She went to seminary school, and when she was in school, she did an internship at a place called Thistle Farms, and that is in Tennessee. And it's a kind of like a sister program to ours. They had it first, but theirs was women in recovery. They're a little bit older. A lot of them were recovering from prostitution and years of sex work. And they worked towards the end of like nowhere to go, nothing. They had nowhere to turn except getting off the streets, basically. But when you're older, it's hard to start over when you're in your 60s or whatever, and you've been in sex work your whole life. You know what I mean? It's even harder. So anyways, that's the demographic that program helps. And they do Bath Body Works products, and they have housing, they have multiple houses, and they have a whole program. And they, I think, even help women internationally now. I know that was like the catalyst. Our program is loosely modeled off of that.
So when they're working, they're creating all these bath and body products. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's very similar model, but we do. So what the women are hired to do for us at Wouldn't It Be Lovely, we don't do Bath and Body Works products like they do. We actually refinish furniture, and that's where it started. We had people just like, hey, instead of taking your old dressers to Goodwill, take them to us and we'll refinish them and then we sell them. So that was where it started. And we, over the years, evolved into really doing furniture more on a professional level. We've trialed and error all of that and learned the right way to do it. So now we do that, but we wanted to, only so many people want to buy dressers and desks. We've had a lot of sales with that, but what else can we do? Because there's a need of more women that need us and need employment.
Right.
But how can we make more money to pay them to work here? So we branched out to doing sewing. Okay. So we have a few sewers and it's not like super difficult level sewing, but stuff that you can learn, sewing pillows and patches on jackets and shirts and stuff like that. And then we branched out to doing candles. So then we learned the art of candle making, which is way more than what you think it is. And there's a lot behind it scientifically, the temperature and all that. There's a lot to it. But anyway, so they've mastered that. So now we have candles. And then at our house, there was what's called a carriage house, like a little old garage, right? On the grounds of where the women live. So separate from the house, but on the same property. And we turned it into a boutique. And it's called the Be Lovely Boutique. And so the other part is we do home decor stuff. And it's essentially a gift shop with hand painted stuff. So we try and put our touch on everything. Our big seller there is the wall art. And it's like the big wood flower cutouts you hang on your front doors, big peace signs, that kind of stuff. People love it. And they line up around the block to get it. Yeah. So it's kind of cool. So, but we also do hand painted pillows and hand painted jean jackets, and we'll hand paint shoes. And I mean, we just have a little bit of, we will literally paint anything. We'll paint on anything.
At the boutique, is it all handmade stuff, or do you have other stuff that you retail from?
So we do retail we try and do most stuff or half stuff, things we made, but we'll order jean jackets from wholesale site and then we'll paint on them, make them ours. So our patch on it, and then we sell them. So I can't say everything's in there and there's handmade by us, but we try and put our touch on just about everything. And we try and do inspirational stuff, things to put on your wall, or inspirational socks or dishes, and just anything. And we've had a lot of success with the boutique. People love that too. So,
yeah, I didn't realize all of that you did. I knew you did the furniture and all that. I didn't know the sewing and the candles. I didn't know any of that yet.
And we're always like looking to grow because there is such a need. And we're a nonprofit. We can only hire so many people at a time because we have to pay them to live too. That's the whole point of it. But so we're always looking to grow and expand and make more money and think of new ideas. So
that's awesome. So what's the typical length for one of the girls that's in the program? What does that look like?
So roughly around 2 years. And it's not like we kick them out at the 2-year mark, but we've noticed it takes a full 2 years at least to get on your feet where you want to be, and longer than that for a lot. I always talk about one girl that's been there for 5-6 years now. Her name's Jessica. She leads the furniture room, but she's been there for years, and now she's a permanent employee. She teaches all the furniture doings to the girls, but it took her years. She was on drug court. She started out, that's how, when she got to us, she started out there, but then it took her years to get her driver's license. She jumped through every hoop, and then it took her a couple years to get her GED, and then it was a process, and most of them have to jump through a ton of hoops that take sometimes more than a couple years. And but we always like to connect most of them to, what do you want to do? What do you want to be when you grow up? You know what I mean? Like, you have the chance to do that.
What's your purpose? What's your why? What do you want to do now?
Exactly. So we try, and education is the key to getting out of poverty mostly, so we try and hook them up to, what do you want to do? Some of the girls have went to cosmetology school. We've had just recently 7 of our women enrolled in college, which is huge. That's the most we've ever had at one time. And that's huge, from being on the street, homeless, drug addict, to now you're in a college. And they're all doing great in school. We've had one girl go through phlebotomy school. She graduated that. Another that just graduated doing medical coding. So she's looking for a job in that field. So yeah, we just try and get them. What's the next step? And we have to keep some in permanent employment there, because somebody's got to know what's going on there. Somebody's got to
manage everything. And of course.
So we have I supervise and design a lot of the stuff that we do, the artistic side of things. Jessica does the furniture, and then another girl named Jess, she does the sewing, and then another girl named Kate does the candles. So we have little departments that we all kind of run each one. So yeah.
So you said you're a permanent employee now, but
Yep.
take us back to when you first started getting into with wouldn't it be lovely?
Yeah, a little bit of my backstory. From Rochester. I grew up in a pretty great family and I had no risk factors to become an addict, like
Sure.
nothing textbook. When I was 13, I started smoking weed and stealing my parents' alcohol. Kind of common with 13, 14-year-olds. And, but then it just became like 16, I was doing cocaine. 18, I tried heroin at a party. And I always say I became a heroin addict overnight. I mean, literally, I didn't even know what it was. I was a dumb kid, 18-year-old kid. And it wasn't scary. There was no needle involved. It was just a little brown powder I snorted, and it overnight, I never stopped from that day forward. And before I knew it, I was a heroin addict. And it was really troubling to even think that about myself, but I hid it for a long time, and then it was no longer hideable. And so I think I was like 21 maybe when I went to my first rehab. I only stayed 17 days. I physically just could not do it. And that led over years. I went to 10 different rehabs, like over and over. I kept trying. I wanted to be clean. I didn't want to be a heroin addict, but I literally just couldn't do it. There was nothing that could make me do it. I just couldn't. And there was just no way. And so in 2015, I was in my addiction and found out I was pregnant, and it like halted everything. And I had a real emergency reason to get clean. So
Right.
I went to Gateway and was able to do a 28-day program there. Then they kept me an outpatient it was about a 6-month thing total. But after my baby was born, she was like a couple months old. Luckily, my mom let me move back in with her, but I had no work experience for years. I was living in my car at one point, living out of motels, and I just had nothing. I had no money and a newborn baby, had no idea how to take care of myself, even let alone a baby. But then I saw on Facebook, there was just an ad about I just remember it being about painting furniture. And I was like, oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
And so I went to the church and talked to Margaret Ann and just told her I have a newborn baby. I've been off and on the streets for years doing drugs, and I don't know what to do going forward. And so luckily she took a chance on me, and it was just like the 10th chance I needed from the world to just help me one last time. And I always say she like turned me into an adult, a fully functioning adult.
Right.
And so, I worked there, and I started out, we started out very minimal, just doing a couple dressers. We had 3 or 4 girls when we started. And I mean, I made very minimal money. I made like $400 a month, I think, starting out. And again, this was 10 years ago. So 400 lasted a little bit longer than it does today, but not very far with me and a baby living off it. But I lived off that and WIC coupons and a link card and a medical card, and I just made it work, and I worked my way up, and I stayed there, and I kept being clean, and I would get more hours and get more responsibility, and now I work for salary, and I manage, supervise everything, and now I have my own apartment and pay my own bills and raise my daughter independently, and have for the last 10 years. So I don't know what I would have done had I not found it, or would I have even been able to stay clean or had a purpose, you know what I mean? Because it's a lot of accountability. I know there's 10 to 15 girls that rely on me every day to be there, and that keeps me clean, along with obviously my daughter. But I think just the key to staying sober is you need it from every direction. You need a good home life or stable home life. You need a good work environment. You need a good network of people that care about you and want you to succeed and support. It's just, and we try and do that for everybody. We try and just like from every angle help them. And we've had a lot of success. We've had a lot of girls that have gone on to have full-time jobs, buy houses, get jobs at hospitals and cosmetologists. I mean, that just go on to have careers and live like a normal person.
No, I mean, your story alone is a huge testament to the power of the program there.
Yep.
So 10 years ago, were you one of the first girls in it?
I was like the third.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there was 2 other girls, and nobody knew anything. I look back at like the furniture we did back then. I'm like, that's so embarrassing.
You guys have learned a little
we
bit
did
since
not
then.
confident of it, now. So yeah, it's been a long road, but it's been great.
Did you guys have the house where the girls could stay at that point too? Or
No. So
Okay.
that came, we always knew there was a need for a house because there was some of the women that, I mean, they would come to work and then they would like go sleep in a car at night. And you can only do well so long doing that. Eventually, it just doesn't work out. Like I said, you have to have like every angle of your life be some kind of support when you're that vulnerable of being a drug addict trying to just be clean. It's just so easy to get triggered and to fall back. So we just knew there was a need and we wanted a house, and we finally raised the money, fundraised, and got the money to buy a house. And it's wonderful. We painted it so cool too. It's like got cheetah print ceilings and
Oh, there
hot
you go.
doors and like it's so girly and cool. But we wanted it to be like a happy, clean, feel comfortable house where people could come from rehab and just feel comfortable and homey and just feel good there. So it's been really great. And like I said, we hope to get another house in the future because I know there's a need.
Right. And
Yeah.
the current one is at the house that you have. That's where you do the
bo-
work and everything, and the boutique and all that's right there.
So the
or-
boutique and the house are all on one grounds, which
Right.
is on South Grand.
Right.
801 South
Yep,
Grand.
down by the church that was
Yep.
originally started, close
So
to it
yep,
at least.
it's right around the block. So
Right.
where we actually work is at Douglas Avenue Church.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that we have a separate workspace than we do the living in the boutique. But we actually is really exciting. We just bought a building, which is actually just right across the street from the church, and it's was the Jewish temple, and
yeah.
they sold it to us, and we are now, that's like our next big thing for this summer. We're going to start moving over there.
Come on.
And so yeah, we're going to have just our own space. We've outgrown and we've grown bigger, and we got stuff everywhere, and we need to spread out a little bit more. Douglas Avenue's been awesome though. They've been so supportive to us and let us paint in their place and have furniture in the hallways, and just we've been in that space for a long time, and they've very much been so great to us, letting us stay there. But we're just growing bigger, so we just want to spread out and have our own spot.
I love it. So that will be completely you guys'
That's
spot
all
there.
us. Yep, all us. So we're going to start moving this summer. Well, in about a month or so, we're going to start. So
Well, congrats to you guys on that.
Yeah,
That's
it's been
fun.
a long road coming, but it's going to be cool. So
Very cool.
Yeah.
So you said a few minutes ago that you didn't have any of like the textbook risk factors for addiction, right? Are there any misconceptions out there that people think of when they think of addiction?
100%. It's always like the stigma of it is you'll turn into an addict if you're poor, or if you're this or that, or you've been molested or abused or not loved as a child. And all those are certainly risk factors, yes. But I just really feel like I had no risk factor. I remember when I first did heroin the first time, I was with 3 other girls, and it was me and 3 other girls, and we all 4 did it that night. And the rest of those 3 girls went about their life and never thought about it again. And I literally feel like I sold my soul to the devil that day and couldn't go without it from that day forward. And I always think it's funny that they say 1 in 4 becomes addicted to drugs.
And that was wow.
And I just was the unlucky one that day. And so my physiological makeup is a drug addict. And but I've seen people that are high up elite people that are drug addicts, closet drug addicts even, and I don't think it discriminates. It can just devour you, anybody. And not everybody has that chemical makeup to just become addicted to something, but most people don't know if they do or not. And it's like
until it's
it's like playing Russian roulette to
Right.
figure it out. And I played Russian roulette and I lost.
Like you said, because for you said it was like over just
It was literally
the one time, and there you go.
It was crazy. It was just I don't know. I just never stopped doing it that day forward. I just couldn't stop. Had I known that, I didn't think I would have done it. But can't ever go back. So I just think there's a stigma on it. But some of these women, if you were to meet some of the women in our program, and I can think a lot of our volunteers even say that, like, they wouldn't even know they're drug addicts. They wouldn't even know they're in recovery if they didn't know better. You know what I mean? They're just normal people.
Sure.
I'm a normal person. And I don't think, I think there's like a common misconception that it's a moral thing. I think the first time is maybe a bad decision, the first time you do a drug. But once I got addicted, your morals are gone because of you're under the influence.
Right.
But I'm not like that. That's not my character. I never like steal and lie and be like that and be
Right.
shady. I'm not like that. But on drugs, I'm like that. And
Sure.
most people on drugs are like that. But when they're not, or you take the drug away, most of them have a great heart and they're good people. And it's just like you turn into a monster and you can't even control it a lot. And it's just hard, it's hard. And you turn into like I said, a monster.
Well, and like
That's
you said,
not
some,
really you.
and the drugs are different too, because like you said, you did some of the other ones and it didn't have that effect on you, but it took that heroin to
exactly
get that claw in.
That is true. That is true. Yep. So I think the rest of it was just me partying as a teenager.
Right.
Nothing held on to me until I did that. So yeah, but I would say a lot of the girls that I work with are some of my best friends, and they have hearts of gold and they're sober. They wouldn't even drive without their seatbelt on. It's just under the influence, you're just a different person. And that's just can be really unfortunate, but that's just the way it is.
Yeah, you guys are doing phenomenal work over there. Anything you'd like to say to Margaret Ann for starting this program?
I always tell her, and I probably don't tell her enough, that she has been my mentor for years. She has turned me into a full-fledged adult. She's like, I always am like, she's my adult. She's my premium adult, like who I go to for everything. And she's just taught me the way, and she's pushed me past my comfort zones on a lot of things and just pushed me to being a better person. She's just always pushing all of us to be a better version of ourselves. And I definitely wouldn't be who I am today without her guidance, support, the program she's made, being able to raise my daughter. And she's just great. And now I have a mother that's wonderful and I love her, and she guides me too. She has been a big helping hand of me being a functional adult also. I don't want to not shout her out too. But I think a lot of the women that are in our program don't have mothers, or they came from broken homes and they don't have a mother. And she kind of is that guide for a lot of the women. She is the motherly love that we get, but she's still our boss, and everybody really respects her and loves her and knows how much she's done for all of us. She's the reason a lot of us are standing right now. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she's awesome.
So I know folks can go out there and support you guys by buying the furniture, stopping by the boutique, doing all the stuff. But I would imagine if your story resonated with somebody out there, they could give monetarily too if they want to the cause, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
So where would they go to do that?
So go to our Facebook page, has a link to our website. Our website is www.wouldn'titbelovely.love. And also, if anybody is interested in work or housing, you can always put in an application through, again, our website, wouldn'titbelovely.love. You'll see the prompts where to apply at. There's one for housing, one for employment. And I always say you need to be about a month clean to start, because you still got to be somewhat right-minded to get up and come to work every day and be able to start there. Or if anybody has questions, you can call us. I want to highlight, on June 20th, we're having a furniture sale. Since we're moving, we're trying to get everything out of that space that we can. So everything, all the furniture that's completed by the time June 20th, we're selling it. And it'll be just a mini sale. It won't be as big as our other furniture sales, but just help us get the stuff out so we could move, and less things we got to carry over.
Makes sense.
Furniture's heavy. So June 20th at 9 a.m., 501 South Douglas Avenue.
Sounds good. And then while we're on that, moving forward, in terms of you guys sourcing your furniture, do people just come and donate it? How does that work?
Furniture is donated from the public. Whoever has it, you can either bring it by the church, again, 501 South Douglas Avenue, or you can call us and we can schedule. We actually have a truck, and so we can come do pickups. We just want to make sure it's not like anything broken. It's got to be able to just be resold without too much major repairs or anything. We mainly sand it, paint it, stain it, that kind of thing. And we don't take anything like entertainment centers, something overly huge. And that's because we work on the top floor and we got to carry everything up and back down. So it's really hard. So,
and some of those things people don't buy as much anymore. Those big giant ones. Those
entertainment centers, you cannot pay people to take them, no matter how pretty they are, I promise. And then we don't take baby furniture, but most of the stuff, it's a wooden desk, dressers, kitchen table, chairs, as long as it's in good condition, sellable condition, we'll take it and we can come pick it up. Again, you can refer to our website or our Facebook page for our phone number and whatnot to call about that if needed.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Well, Megan, one final question for you. I like to
Yeah.
ask this of all my guests.
Okay.
So, is there anything we can do community-wide to help
Yeah.
all of us here elevate Springfield and the surrounding communities?
I think that we just need to have less stigma on addicts. And I think we need to, as a community, look at how we can help them more than judge them. And I think addiction and treatment has come a long way in the last 10, 15, 20 years. And I think there's a lot more resources now, but I just want people to judge less and support more. Support the struggle. I know that might sound weird, but just not judge and just realize that that's somebody's son or daughter, or somebody loves that person and wants that person to become back to their original state, and they just need some love and support.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, Megan, appreciate you coming to spend some
Yeah,
time with
thanks for
me.
having me.
Inspiring
Appreciate
story,
it.
powerful work you guys are doing.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Well, we're going to let Megan get back to elevating
Hey.
Springfield. But for the rest of y'all, we'll be right back. Hey, Springfield, when it comes to reliable, high-quality roofing, you don't want to leave things to chance. That's why you should reach out to Acosta Angeli Roofing, your local roofing expert, serving Springfield and surrounding communities. From quick, dependable repairs to full replacement, from residential to commercial, they are your trusted pros. Call them today at 217-993-2748 or visit their website to book your free quote and inspection. Don't wait. A little leak now could lead to major damage later. Trust the local experts, protect your home, and get peace of mind with Acosta Angeli Roofing. Well, thank you for joining us today, everybody, on another segment of Communities Grow Together on the Elevate Springfield podcast. Thank you again to David Hilst, American Family Insurance Agency, for partnering with us on this segment. Hey, take what you learned today. You bring the discipline and follow through, and together, that's right, y'all, we're going to elevate Springfield. Be great.
Looking for expert tree care with hometown integrity? Look no further than Sangamon Tree Service. They're your trusted local pros, delivering quality workmanship, exceptional customer service, and fair, honest pricing every time. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, their team brings professionalism and care to every job, big or small. Call the name your neighbors trust, Sangamon Tree Service, or visit them today at SangamonTreeService.com. Sangamon Tree Service, rooted in quality, built on trust.